the more that I stay still, is that it's good. Even though Ken might be outside, even though he might be translating in another language about what they did in Indonesia, you don't need to, you got to consider everything that you're doing. It's the day of the release of Deadpool 3 with Wolverine, on that stuff. So what's going on over there is that it's like we're still in the changing room. Nothing has changed, except me having to see how I look really quick. So don't, whatever's on the outside, or whatever it can be, don't take that into, like, they'll make it change what you're doing in frequencies in life. So, as I was saying, it's like, since we're in the changing room, I gotta make sure that I look fine. So, I'm over here and I'm looking good, and I got this thing that is a little bit, it's like it's not so bad when things are looking good. Since this is the day of the release, let's bring up something on the Times schedule to be on the side of the effects, the sound effects on the side of Trump making drive-bys. And there is the whole 911 services basically in the area because somebody is screaming within something and it still has substance to keep going. So one thing is we got to make sure that everybody's all right. But then the thing is we got to call Mr. Ken. Mr. Ken, I'm still in the changing room. You need to go. And it's like, can you translate it for me? And he's like, I'm going to translate it for you. I'm going to go ahead and translate it for you in just a moment. It goes like this. Hey, master, dude, I start fucking, when he's translating, he speaks in this language, but it's coming out like this. Yeah, I want to tell you that Mr. Morello over here is trying to make you get out of this thing. It's for the Peaky Blinders. And it's all of a sudden the Peaky Blinders are fucking walking around smoking cigarettes everywhere. There's cigarettes all over the fucking place, dude. I'm like, dude, but this is beyond, this is Peaky Blinders 2050 where Batman Beyond come from. And where they're in the future, and Robin is taking advantage of what Batman's identity, and nobody knows it, and Foggy does. Foggy sees that that's not Batman, that's fucking Robin trying to act like he's putting on that fucking non-aging skin king stuff. He has a graveyard of fucking bones in his backyard. It's Batman's uncle and sons and shit like that pass through time because they die of old age in the comics. And that because Batman, it will never die again because he had a horrific accident. So we're not going to continuously ram fucking high-end level pain on him. So basically, Robin has become Alfred and all this stuff, but Foggy doesn't know that he's doing Batman at something like we don't know. So basically, the Robin has gone through time, but Foggy Nelson has gone through Deadpool 3 with Wolverine, where there's time core. And basically what's happening is Foggy Nelson has learned about time a little bit through this what if of a fucking situation, man. He's been through a what if situation. What if there's endless possibilities? There can be anything like this. But Foggy sees that Batman is not fucking Batman anymore. It's Robin. Robin has stole Batman's identity. Today, it's not the day to be stealing identities. That's where so Foggy shows up in Batman Beyond with the Peaky Blinders. Batman is trying to change Peaky Blinders area to Gotham because he misses the old times. He sees that they're still trying to use steamboats in the back. So he's like, Batman's like, I want to be working back in the day when we were with Steamboat Willie. And he's like, shit, man, you said his name, Willie. And Willy Wonka shows up to the factories. And he's over here like, factories? Yeah, he showed up to the factories. Not on this day. He's got to be in the fucking factory. And then all of a sudden, we're back in Flush Factory inside the game. And this is called Deadpool 3 with Wolverine premiering on another day. So it's called What If? And that's based upon Marvel. Now we have to go and see and speculate and see if Ryan Reynolds has gone in and did something so presumptuous that we could call the genie in a bottle Ariana Grande to come sing for us and do something like that. So if Ryan Reynolds is able to do in Deadpool 3 with Wolverine, what should happen, we may not be in old-time Peaky Blinders with Batman trying to act like he's trying to do something with Steamboat. So what I'm trying to say is, for fuck's sake, Ryan, if you're out there, I fucking love you, dude. In a sense of, like, I love one thing, but you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate what you do for the freaking movies, man. Go and and sneak your way on to the Time Corps of Loki. It's common. Do I need to get the desk out? Do I need to get my desk that says common desk that is misspelled in childish language of writing because my son doesn't know how to write desk. He knows only how to write sense. So basically, get the common desk sense out, and he says this. Let me do this. And basically, get this out, Ryan. If you have to, do what you were supposed to do with the what if. And go behind their back and listen, I'm not playing. Go behind their back and go to the master editor of the director's cut and tell them this, dude. The guy that does the final decision on what's going to go into promotion. Tell him, listen, bro. We have to get a microcosmic second of time going through the time police so we can open the doors of, like, open sesame of time with Deadpool and Ryan. So he has a limitless amount of things. So what if is still available and it's connected to what if. There's a lot, it's like open sesame. So one thing's for certain is like, tell Ken while I'm in the change room that I have to get some ideas off my head because I'm working on what if department in Marvel. So one thing is for certain, guys, when the movie is it's a paid promotion by Deadpool 3 and Marvel. Deadpool 3 with Wolverine is out in theaters right now. Be careful, it might be rated R, so you have to make sure that your kids don't watch this because they may not be a good example for them. Because if somebody's out there and it comes back to we gotta call George Bush and they're doing some terroristic shit because they're watching movies like this, don't do that shit. Even though I had the same skin color. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't mean you need to go take them to watch the movie. You go watch it with our people together at this age. But be careful, because how are you going to explain this to the kids that we are going to go watch a rated R movie? What you do is you wait till nightfall and they have gone to sleep and you got somebody to go and watch the kids while we're together. And that's how you do it. And what if the kids want to watch Deadpool? Listen to the fucking title, man. It's called Deadpool. What in that matter? You might as well call this Saw 5. I don't know anything better about Deadpool. I do. So that's why I try to tell you the whole revolving circle is called don't judge a book by its cover. Because it's Deadpool 3 with Wolverine, it's paid promotion, okay? And it's called cross-reference with What If. What If is in season 7, episode 50 million already. So it's just like that. So when you watch the movie, you're not going to be able to go to the theaters, and what you can do is go to the theaters and say that, you know what, since we're going to go watch this later in time when it's not in 5D with all these elements of stuff going in my face, that we can buy. Who were you supposed to watch it with? That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you were going to go watch it with a whole group of communities in a stadium or something like an arena, but your intention was to do that in the first place, but it got canceled because it's a rated R film and it's almost progressively getting into something that we didn't even know Logan was going to get into, but you're making an excuse about what it was going to be, but you're going to go watch it with the stadium. You got to buy the amount of tickets for the dang stadium, even though they may not be there. So if I got to go all the way to a stadium to tell you how to watch a rated R movie with your community, but there's something with blood and gore and sex and like lovemaking with private times, even though it's rated R, if your intention was to go watch that with your friends and you bring a stadium of friends, but it's rated R and you get denied at the front gate and there's people riding around in the four-wheeler, and even though it's two wheels, but now there's three wheels running, you got to make sure that things are right. And so if you're going to buy, your intention was like, yeah, man, me and my friends are going to go watch it at a stadium, make sure you're not wearing too much leather. Because if that's going to be the case, we're going to have to go watch that show from the movies on Marvels, where they might have something like that going on, because I'm a vegan and I need to go get something to eat. This is brought by Deadpool 3 by Wolverine, but the thing is, don't judge a book by its cover, okay? Because that gentleman, Mr. Ryan, is possibly sitting at the desk of Marvel, of time, because he needs to tell the director's cut if this hasn't happened yet, because I have yet to see the movie, because I don't hijack movies on planes and go do whatever it is called pirating, what they do now. What do they used to do with pirating? That's the new pirating, is pirating planes. I don't do pirating in any fucking sort, dude. I'm not in Somalia. I don't got no damn boat with the chug jug. I do got chug jugs in the past, but I ain't got no chug jug right now drinking rum. Like they got Jack Sparrow on Fortnite right now. I'm just playing, guys. Don't take this too serious. Too serious, because, dude, we got a whole endless thing that if Ryan Reynolds, if I can get my desk that says, come on, desk, and I say, I'm working at Rexham. That's what my desk says. I'm working at Rexham desk. And he's going to be like, hey, man, you ain't working at Rexham. And, bro, what does this thing say? It says Rexham. And it's like, he's like, dude, that means you know how to read. It's like, yeah. Well, what about common sense and reading a script in the sense of comics? And it's like, what do you mean? It's a reading that's like, if you read the comics, Deadpool has a section where he's with Punisher and Frank Castle at White Castle, where he goes and takes on the Marvel Universe. And this is the time, because you're with Mr. Wolverine, and you're already crossing paths in realms. So maybe you can figure something out in the director's cut, if it's not in this one, to go and speak with Loki and Thor and tell them, hey, is there a Fortnite in there? And it's like, yeah, give me a Fortnite. So you go in there and you go with the director's cut and you sneak off and say, hey, this is my commercial now on Super Bowl in front of everybody where the special teams go. The special teams character from Pete Carroll comes in. He says, hey, man, where's my glory? I won the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick comes in here and says, I went and gave this man a promotional marketing approach before he went out there on the special teams and told him, if you don't fucking become She-Hulk and jump up there and block this, we're going to need 3 minutes to do a 1-minute theme. And he's like, that's so simple. All I have to do is get my finger on the ball. It's like, yeah, that reminds me of a song by Lil Wayne. Once I move around, we can talk about it. But that's all you have to do, Mr. Giant, Mr. Donald. It's the Rams. It's the Rams. Remember center from Donald? He comes in and gives the guy special promotions on the Kansas City Chiefs. He's the one that should have won the dang MVP 2 years ago when we were at the club, when we were watching the game with the huge screen. So Mr. Donald comes in and he's like, dude, you need normally you pass the ball, but this time you're going to have to block this ball because we need about 50 seconds to do a 5-minute first quarter play to tie the game up for the Chiefs. So when you're going to do that is what we're going to have to do. So next thing you know, we're at the Wrexham facility. But you would never know that because we're just trying to make sure that you cross-reference the time with reading the comics, because you just said that it says, I work at Wrexham. But I said it says common desk. It says, it says common sense. And it's like, it says common sense at the desk. Common sense at my desk. But he says, but my language just says Wrexham United's for countryman's folk and working. And I'm like, hey man, how about you do this? Come over here, and I'll come in the stadium and tell you, read the comic, man. You don't have to sit there and devour all these comics. I'm not going to sit there and test you. But if you read comics and you understand the glory of things, how would you even know what the Avengers Endgame is when that's not even what it's called? It's called like Avengers Infinity Gauntlet. Infinity, it's something like that. But how would you know that? Because it's one of the greatest ones ever. So if Deadpool, don't mess up, man. If there's another one coming out, that's y'all's choice. That's not my choice. I've come out for days to tell y'all what you could do if Deadpool passes by the time. Please, man. So for everyone's sake, dude, even if for some reason, when he's jumping around and flying around, he sees like an idea, like what if, and he's like, oh, shoot, man, I got to get growing back again to my normal thing because I ain't the person that ain't going to die. And he's like, and all of a sudden it's just like a glimpse of an idea of him sitting down with the lady that he's always asking for stuff with from the movie of The Matrix. And she's acting like she's from The Matrix, but she's not. You know what I'm talking about? You know who I'm talking about? So she's sitting there, and he's like, man, have you tried this thing and this thing and this thing? And he's like, that's an idea that went on in his head, and he sees a thing about he's working through Netflix because he's about to have a woman. He's texting with the woman. He's like, and it's like his wife is like a little bit banging on the door, but he can't hear it because he's deaf outside his ear. And he's sitting there and he's watching Netflix, and he's like, oh man, and he's like, I'm about to Netflix and chill. And it's like, but the thing is, he's got this woman inside this place that she's the one housing him. It's his house, but he has a wife at another house. So the thing is, he's tired. He's a little tired. He's like Homelander. He want to go chill with the lady that's been raising him so long. So they're sitting on the couch, and that's the way that it could go any fucking way, man. Just make sure that you got the time police cross-referenced over there, dude, so you can do the what if. Because it could be what if whatever. We can just change it to this. They're sitting there right now in the Super Bowl. And guess what? They're about to do the blocking of the Super Bowl. They're back over here inside Deadpool 3 Wolverine, and brought to you by Marvel, which Marvel connects what if. And what if it's like, whoever did that, you might as well start painting something for like Leonardo DiCaprio, because like that character knows how to draw. If you've ever seen him, he draws good. So that's why we're in the fitting room now. So in the fitting room, I'm trying to look good, and if somebody's trying to mess with me, and Ken is still out there trying to dragon stick me, or diagnostics, and get all this stuff, I'm gonna have to tell him, dude, you better get back over there and start undrawing what you've been doing, because you gotta get that magic erase with Mr. Clean. Because Mr. Clean's out there. And the thing is, Mr. Clean don't have anything to do with the mop, even though the mop looks like he's got dreadlocks. And I'm like, brother, I don't give a fuck what's going on, man. We need to get the time police going on with the Deadpool. And he's like, yeah, I care. I care, yes. And it's like, what do you mean you can do it? I'm telling you one thing. We need to get back in the office and get things coordinated, because we're here at the stadium. And things are going to get a little bit reckless. So I'm wondering where something happened here, because with the logistics of things and the terms of style make me wonder where there's like these things grow, and they're coming out of nowhere. And it's like, how does this happen? And it's like, we need to go and make sure that the logistics of this time are times punch continuum. So the only way to do